A Low-Country family called Colette furious when their bank account was drained by courts and they were informed that they had to ask permission to spend any of their own money. When the courts took over control of the finances, this is called a conservatorship.
Yeah, courts often intervene when a judge deems a person incapacitated. Tonight, Count on 2 investigator Rebecca Colette explains why one family say that's overreaching.
The court has control of their money and they have to pay for attorneys and court fees they don't want. The family can't get out of the conservatorship without a judge ruling.
We first introduced you to Benjamin Bennett and his family in October 2017. They had been fighting against a court-appointed conservatorship for nearly a year. His daughter Melissa says Mr. Bennett's former doctor recommended the conservatorship to protect him and a large inheritance. According to the doctor's report, Bennett showed signs of dementia and had voiced concerns about having so much money in the bank. In November 2016, the court called an emergency hearing, citing concerns Mr. Bennett was unable to handle his money. The court drained his bank account, redirected his Social Security checks, and appointed family services to oversee his finances. Once that happened, Benjamin and his wife of 60 years, Ida, had to ask permission to spend money on everything from dentures to church tithes.
It's so much to wrap yourself around.
Family services must approve and allocate any spending for the couple.
When you children need help, and you could help them, you can't. On the account of somebody else controlling the money, it's hurt.
Meanwhile, $1,100 in court fees, more than $6,000 in court-appointed attorney fees, and nearly $21,000 in service fees to family services has been taken from the Bennett's account in 2017.
I just ain't like I used to be. I mean, it bothers me.
2 court-appointed health experts examined Mr. Bennett to gauge his mental capacity. According to those tests, both exams found Mr. Bennett is not incapacitated, should be able to handle his own money, and showed normal signs of aging. They also found the Bennett's children supportive. One court-appointed doctor charged the family $850. The other charged $300. The final test was submitted to court on October 20th, 2017, nearly a year since the court took their money. It took 187 days before the Bennett's court-appointed attorney filed a motion to dismiss the case based on the tests.
It's about time for them to do this.
That motion was filed last Wednesday. Consultants tell me there's no deadline for the judge to rule. An attorney who consulted with me on the story says once the courts intervene, the process has to run its full course, and the goal is to protect vulnerable adults. The Bennetts say it's not necessary for their family, and it has only cost them money and caused them frustration.
I sent multiple requests to the court-appointed attorneys for interviews. They didn't respond. The judge told me he couldn't legally discuss the case. One way of avoiding conservatorships is by establishing wills and power of attorney. Well, as of this morning, Benjamin Bennett is officially free of the court's intervention in his life and his finances.
This family is making plans.
There's always something to do around the house.
Finally, Benjamin Bennett can afford them now that his inheritance is back in his bank account.
I feel so good when I can help somebody.
Benjamin's wife, Ida.
I knew then that the Lord was going to fix this, but I had to have patience and wait on Him.
Often, court interventions happen when a judge deems a person incapacitated. Mr. Bennett is not incapacitated, according to 2 court-appointed health professionals who tested Mr. Bennett and turned over their findings to the court in the fall of 2017.
They can take his money and give him away. Let him give him away if he want to give him away, because he worked for it.
The ordeal cost the family more than $45,000. According to court records, nearly $14,000 went to court-appointed attorneys. $30,000 paid the court-appointed conservator to manage the family's money.
Horrific. Everything about this was horrific.
Melissa Bennett says her father's former doctor recommended the conservatorship because he showed signs of dementia. Court records later revealed a urinary tract infection caused his confusion. After 21 months, Benjamin Bennett is free of the court's control over his money and his life.
Thanks to the Lord that we get my money back.
Getting that money back was a long shot. As part of my investigation into conservatorships, I learned fewer than 1% resolve without someone dying. No judge, no court-appointed attorney, or the senior advocate would comment despite repeated requests over the last year.